Hey, I'm Jake. I left the UK 3 years ago, but I'm actually back here in England. It's February, it's very cold, it's very grey, and it's not that I hate it here, but I am leaving again in March. So let's talk about it. So I am gonna cook whilst I'm doing this, so bear with me, but I will just keep rambling. So why did I actually come back? Well, it's a good question, and ultimately I hadn't planned on coming back. I was in Sri Lanka for a period of time which I thought was going to be not necessarily forever, but I genuinely believed that Sri Lanka was going to sort of work out. So I'd signed up for like a 4-month stint there. I had a job there as a yoga teacher at a surf camp, and it just didn't really work out for a multitude of reasons. And I've kind of realized since being back in the UK that I think there were elements of being really uncomfortable with being in the place that I'd worked so hard to get. So I think when I am working towards something, it's really easy for me to keep pushing. It's really easy for me to find motivation and find a level of comfort in the working towards it because you haven't reached your outcome or your goal. But what I found, and I looking back across my 20s, I've seen this time and time again, is at the point that I reach an outcome and I am now living the goal, or I've achieved something, I just run out of steam. And I think, like, people always say enjoy the journey, and I'm not saying I don't enjoy the journey, but I think I'm starting to realize why people say that. Because once you reach your goal or your destination, the journey's finished and you're just kind of there like, okay, well, now what? And for me, I didn't really have the comfort or understanding to just let myself exist in where I was and what I was doing from day to day. So for me, I just quite quickly started to focus on what the next thing was, and that ultimately led me to leaving Sri Lanka early because I kind of felt like there were other things I wanted to focus on. Which brings me to where I am now. I got an injury whilst I was away, and it's been 14 weeks since the point that I actually got injured. And I went and saw my sports therapist this morning because it's still, I thought I pulled it again yesterday. I was literally just slipping my shoe off and I felt my hamstring. So I booked kind of like an emergency appointment. My friend's a sports therapist, but he said it's fine. He's given it sort of like a once over and it seems to be okay. So anyway, so I got injured, and that dictated a lot of me being away because all of a sudden the things that I was enjoying and the things that I wanted to do became it like a hardship. I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to do, and then I didn't feel like I was very good at regulating myself. I didn't feel like I was looking after myself in the best way possible because I was just channeling the frustration of being injured into other things, and I ended up just kind of working too much. So I just fully I guess I burnt myself out, but not in a I can't move burnout sense of I don't know what to do. It was just my sort of nervous system was just completely shot, and I wasn't able to work out because of the injury, so I wasn't able to kind of self-regulate how I would usually regulate. And I just found I just felt a bit stuck and I wasn't enjoying myself. And I think for me, I'm always someone that needs, I've got an eggshell stuck in the egg, which is really annoying, and I can't currently get it. Oh, I might have to write off this egg. Please, no. Right, I'm giving up. Ow, and I just burnt my finger. Okay, we're writing that egg off. The dog can have it. I just feel like I have completely lost what I was talking about. Where was I? Help me. You can't even respond to me to give me instruction. So one thing for me is I need to feel like there's purpose and I need to feel like there's direction. I've always struggled with this just being and this just existing. And I've kind of spent a bit of time in and around the spirituality community. I'm a yoga teacher, and there is like a lot in that world of just sort of just be, let feelings pass, let thoughts pass, not having attachment to things. But for me, I need a reason. I can't just be here because of the simple fact that I am just here. I need to be working towards something. I need to be doing something. I need a goal. And whether that's physical, mental, spiritual, I always feel like I need to be working towards something. At the time, I just felt like I didn't have this purpose. I felt like I was just existing in these places, and I wasn't sort of taking advantage of the environment I was in. Everything had sort of become really normalized to me because I'd spent so long out there. So I made the decision to head home, partly for my injury, partly because I felt like I didn't have a direction. I just felt like I needed some more stability. And ultimately for me, that looks like coming home and moving in with my mum for a short period of time, which, yeah, I mean, it's not the most ideal of circumstances at 32, but it works for me. And that's ultimately why I'm leaving again, because there isn't really anything here for me. And I know that the UK gets a lot of hate and people are leaving as quickly as the next person, whether they're going to Australia or Dubai or wherever. And obviously I'm guilty of that fact for leaving. But for me, I just need to kind of look at what opportunities there are. And at the moment, because I've spent such a prolonged period of my last recent years in a different environment and a different country, I now don't have the circles or systems in place here which warrant me to stay long term. And I think I understand that I could put time and effort into finding those communities and finding those spaces here. And that's not to say that I have them abroad, but I want to be confident that if I'm going to put the time, energy and effort into creating spaces and community and a home for myself, I want it to be in the right place. And I also don't want to have a feeling of I should have done this, or what if I'd have gone there and what if I'd have tried that out. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with having this freedom to choose, partly because I gave up quite a lot. I had my own place, I had a career, never quite made the partner thing work, but I had a life that I gave up and took the opportunity to go over to Asia and start working and things. I feel like I'm in a different headspace, whereas when I first left, it was very much like escapism to get away from whatever it was that was going on at the time, whether that was for me or for the country or my job. And now it's, okay, well, I do feel like I want a base, and I do want to move into those spaces of having a long-term partner and having friendship and community and hobbies and structure and all these things that I think we try and escape from when we find them. It comes back to what I was saying. But I want to find those things, but I don't want to leave a stone unturned, and I don't want to look back in a few years' time and be like, oh, well, what if I had tried that? So I've kind of said to myself that this year is going to be a bit more of like a just say yes year and see what opportunities come up. So the reason that I am leaving is because I've had an opportunity come up in Morocco. So that's to host a retreat in Morocco. It's just going to be like a really small group of people. And we are going to be doing some surfing, some mindfulness stuff. It's going to just essentially be like a week for people to slow down and have the opportunity to take themselves out of the chaos of the UK or Germany or wherever it is that you guys are from and you're watching from, and just slow down and take a breather, learn to surf. And there'll be sort of some activities and things that I'm putting on to encourage people to learn how to reset and find direction, like the tools and things that I've discovered have worked for me. So it's not a I'm going to Morocco forever, and it's not a I'm staying away forever. It's not even a I don't want to be in the UK. For me, I just need to I need to know that at the point that I decide to move back to the UK permanently and live here, that I'm not worried about what if. I'm not thinking I don't want to create a environment where I could have done something and didn't do it. So I am going to go and try. So I don't know where that's going to take me. Perhaps I end up back in Asia. I'm still of the age where I can get a working holiday visa for Canada and Australia. So there's the opportunity to go out there. But essentially I just have like this kind of blank slate where I don't have the dependence or the outgoings, which mean that I can't do this because my base right now is at home with my mum. So yeah, I mean, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in following and seeing more of, then hit subscribe and let me know in the comments, because I'll be continuing to do more videos and more vlogs based on my experience as I venture out to see what opportunities come up and how Morocco goes and where I'll end up after that. So yeah, this year is all about testing, and I have the opportunity to work online. So the plan is to be earning money whilst I'm doing it, which is obviously the dream, right? But I'm also very aware that it's because of the type of person that I am and because of the way that I have experienced things before, is I know that it's not necessarily going to be enough. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to arrive somewhere and be like, yep, that's me finished, that's me done. This is an ongoing process that will continue to evolve and change as new opportunities arise. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that I don't have those dependents and I don't have the commitments that most people do and my friends do at the age of 32. It also helps that it is obviously a lower cost of living abroad, so I don't actually have to earn as much money online than I would have to earn if I decided, right, I'm staying in the UK. And that's the thing, I've not completely ruled out the UK. I would still do the same role that I'm doing online, I would still be doing content, but it's just a case of, whilst I'm in these like early stages of setting my stuff up and figuring out how much I am going to be earning a year, because this is my year one essentially. So it's a case of, if I can keep the costs low, then obviously that's only going to be beneficial for me, and I can then sort of start to plan accordingly. Because if I went for living in the UK now and I decided I'm gonna go and rent somewhere, I'm gonna get myself a car, like all of these things which are a huge expense, I'm gonna have to earn more and my life's gonna be harder and there's gonna be more pressure. Whereas at the minute, I can go abroad with the money that I have left and make it last a lot longer, but also the money that I earn from the retreat and things, that goes further. So it just means that these smaller opportunities end up becoming having much more longevity. But obviously the hope is that I build a successful online community and online business, and I am earning enough to give me the opportunity to choose where I live. And I am not for 1 second saying I want to earn hundreds of thousands of pounds, and I will, because that's not really what motivates me. What motivates me is having a certain level of lifestyle. I want to live by the sea. I want to be able to go out and drink posh wanky coffee and have my avocado on toast, which is what I'm making now. Like, I just want to have that sort of super middle class lifestyle, I guess. I don't want to, I'm not someone that goes out and buys like designer clothing and goes on expensive holidays. I have my sort of tricks of the trade for buying cheap flights and that kind of thing. I mean, to fly to Morocco, it's literally £40. So there's ways and means, and you can make this lifestyle work if you're prepared to make sacrifices. And for me, the long term at the minute, I can make the sacrifices now, which will potentially pay off in the long run. Whereas in a year's time or in 2 years' time, my life may look very different and it may include another person to be thinking about. So then these sacrifices become more, they become outside of myself. At the minute, the sacrifices I'm making are me having my own space, me having like my own home and that kind of stuff. I can sort of get those elements out of having a short-term let, for example, in a beach town. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated. I'm gonna have my lunch now and I will see you on the next one. But please like, comment and subscribe, and there will be more of this to come. See ya.